Yeah, hey, yeah, 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 yeah. Hey there, Mr. DJ, got nothing else to do. Signed into YouTube to see what was new. Clicked on this video and now you are here. What's he gonna say? Did he buy new gear? It's the DJ shit show, the DJ shit show. Like chips and queso, no substance, just gas blow. He talks out his ass, bro, moves fast but his brain slow. Your channel won't grow, no, looks like a 70s porno. It's the DJ shit show, the DJ shit show. This guy is full of shit, lacking charm and zero wit. Props the camera, he ain't fit, do us a favor, leave and quit. No one will miss ya, your wife won't kiss ya. While kids make a wish ya, it's you drown with the fish ya. It's the DJ shit show, the DJ shit show. Fuck you.
Here we go. What's going on, people? What's up? It's Wednesday. He's here. Jack is in the house. I'm gonna bring him on in just a little bit. What's up from NYC? DJ V squared. You got it. How we doing, everybody? How we doing? Let me move that down just a tad. There we go. Yeah, I'm stoked. I got Jack Kristian in the house today. We're gonna bring him on in just a little bit. I want to chat with you guys about some stuff, and then we're going for it. Let me say some hellos to you in the chat. DJ Donovan. Yeah, that's just my way. AI baby. Welcome, hallelujah to the 44 GT sighting on my Instagram. That's right. If you guys haven't already, follow me on Instagram. I usually have lots of content on there that shows like what I'm doing during my gig, or I had a problem with my Sennheiser that I'm going to talk about. And then yes, the 44s were back. I brought them out this entire weekend on Friday and Saturday. Man, we could talk about that. Just remind me or I'll forget. But Peter, what's up, Peter from Montreal? Hello, bro. Kenny's here in the house. Queens over here. YV squared. All right. NYC. I've been to New York a couple times. Played a show there, actually, in my band. Actually, the last show I ever played in my band was at New York City. Oh, dude. DJ Breeze. I have a 5-hour dance set mid-September. So when I see that, oh my God, dude. Okay, so here's the thing. I used to get those kind of requests, or I'd get those timelines, and a lot of times I'd have an email like from the planner, like, here comes your timeline, and I'd always expect from them that, dancing starts at 7, goes to midnight. I'm like, what are you guys doing? No, you're killing me. You're killing me with this. What are we doing here? No, and I know why. I've said this before. I have no problem saying it. I can tell what's going on. The other vendors, they want to be done. All right? They've been there since 8, 9, 10 o'clock in the morning. Once the dance starts, they're done. And then it's on us. So it's like, let's rush speeches. Let's rush dinner. Let's do speeches. Like, I've been in situations where oh, Jesus, here we go. Let's just put up the right deal for this. All right, rant. Time to rant. I've been in situations where they're like, the food isn't even all the way out. And the planner's like, I'm sitting down with a fork up to my mouth. Are we doing speeches? And me, no, we're not. Don't fuck with my vibe, all right? What they don't understand is that 7 o'clock, 6:30 to 11, Christ. What they don't understand is that a 7 o'clock start time, a 6:30 start time to dance is nuts. Nobody's gonna go, unless you have complete control of the environment, unless there's no windows, unless it can be dark. But you almost want to let people know, hey, just so you know, by the way, I'm going to be playing music for the next 5 hours. So buckle up. That's wild to me. That's just absolutely wild. There's no way. People are crazy. And whoever that is, what's up, Kenny? Whoever it is that made this decision, we just love to dance. We just love it. It's not the same anymore. Back in the old days, weddings were usually 4 hours total. The whole thing, bro, that seems right. Like, they're getting longer, especially out here in the Midwest. And it's the venue's fault. It's always the venue's fault. It's the planner's fault. I always see these timelines and I have to like, then I gotta get on and be like, look, guys, your timeline's kind of whack. You don't want to do this to your guests. You don't want to do this to yourself. You're gonna ruin your night. You don't want to do this. And to be honest, I don't want to play 5 hours. I don't want to DJ for 5 hours. That's kind of crazy. That's just after 3.5, I'm over it. I'm over it. I need a break. If you're doing a 4-hour dance, I'm building in a break, almost like a band. You know, we're like, all right, we'll be back. I've said this before. All right, we'll be back. I hope everybody will be back in 10 minutes. I need to sit down for a little bit. I need to sit down. Yeah, 3 hours is the max it should go, but 2.5 is literally the best. That's what I've found. I've been doing a lot of 2.5-hour dances, and I can just tell the crowd is just really into it. They don't want to go anywhere. They stick around. And then when you get to the end, they want it to last a little bit longer, which is what I always tell my couples. And actually, during my consultation calls now, I put up a video that shows them an empty dance floor. And I say, this is what happens when you go too long. Recently, I'd say like 80 to 85% of my couples are dialed into that. Okay. I'm done with being the old guy. Speaking of that, I had do you guys have a scorching weekend in the 90s? In the 90s. Smashed. Oh, I still have Cleveland Terry's head up there. I thought I switched that over. Whoops. All right. If you see Cleveland Terry's head from last week, that means that you're supposed to hit the like button. Hit that like button if you had a scorcher. It was about 90 on Saturday for us, and outdoor ceremony at a golf course where the ceremony wasn't on the green. They had built like a little patio at this place, fully exposed to the elements, fully exposed. No covering, no shade, not even for me. I know that I'm battery powered, so one of the things I like is I can go anywhere. No trees. There's nothing. No coverage, no nothing. And I know that some people will say, Aaron, build it into your contract where the couple has to build a shelter for you. But here's the deal. I just like, that's one more thing they have to do, okay? Which and then I gotta buy some tent, and then I gotta get the wrong thing. It's gonna be too small, or it's gonna be too low, and it's gonna look shitty having some like tarp. I feel like it's gonna be like some alone looking shit, like some tarp over a tree. There, fucking DJ, go lie under there, you wet blanket. This guy can't handle the elements. So what I did was I brought an umbrella, and I basically had the Everse 8, and and then I'm holding an umbrella over the speaker and the wireless mic to make sure it doesn't overheat, and the iPad. All three of those things need to be in the shade, because even the venue coordinator came down. She goes, "Oh my God, my phone just shut off because of the heat." And I was like, "Yep, Alan, I had a pop-up tent, and I bought one of those after I got rained on one time, and I was like, never again." But it's so big, and I don't want to do it. I don't want to like do that. I just don't want to set all that up and then have to tear it down by myself, and it's 100 degrees. So now I'm like putting this tent together. So the umbrella worked, but I was literally like this during the whole ceremony. And come on, guy. I'm just like, get the goddamn rings on. I was just like, oh my God. And then I had a shadow behind me so I could see what's getting covered. So I'm just making sure. So I'm like, I wasn't checking the wireless range anymore. My signal, I'm checking the shade. I'm checking to make sure that everything's under. And so I'm like, I'm going like this and then looking down like, all right. I actually pulled the speaker down a little bit lower so I didn't have to have my arm up so high. I've seen those. I had one of these and I left it at a venue. The other thing why that would not have worked is it was windy. It was windy. Oh, good idea. I'll get a white one. That's a good idea. I'll get a white one. I think because my whole setup was black and I was dressed in black, it was all right. And I was in the back, so I don't feel like it was. But no, the problem with the clip-on is the wind, guys. The wind. You get one gust of wind and the whole umbrella goes inside out and it goes, right? And then everyone's kind of like, and then you hear that, like that sound of the wind. And now I'm like, Jesus Christ. And I'm trying to like, bend it back down. And that happened too because the wind was blowing it. So I had one arm on the umbrella. So I'll do it like this. I had one arm holding the stem, one arm holding the umbrella. And it was like, going like this. In the back. Just, get it done. That was my ceremony. Sweating because I only had the umbrella under. So my back, now I did wear a lighter shirt. I was like, I'm not wearing my black shirt down there because I did that a week or two ago and had so much back sweat that it was like Niagara Falls back there. So I'm like, nah, I'm not doing that again. So I wore a lighter t-shirt while I was down there, black pants and my shoes, but, and the officiant's just taking his time. Well, when he came down to do a mic check, yeah, I was thinking that too, dude. I was thinking, I was very Poppins. And like, where's the DJ? He's floating out towards the pond. Shim, shimmery, shim, shimmery, shim, 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 fuck. So, I was talking to the officiant doing a mic check with him, and I said, bro, we're keeping this short, right? And he's like, yeah, I was thinking about a half hour, 40 minutes. I'm like, no. What's the matter with you? You can't expose these people to these elements for 40 minutes, all right? He's like, yeah, well, my sermon's 8 minutes. I'm like, oh, cut that. Listen, guy, you're not getting any converts here at the wedding, all right? Nobody's going to be, are you planning on passing the bucket around? Pulling some tips? Get to the kiss. Here's another tip. And my couple did this. Now, this wasn't my original idea. It was the couple the week before where it was really hot. And I thought this was such a nice touch. They had brought a big cooler with ice and water in it and set that up by the ceremony. And there was like, 100 bottles of water in there. I thought that was a nice touch. I actually, nobody really, they had it hidden, which wasn't, you couldn't see. So I got on the mic. I was like, hey, everybody, if you're getting hot or whatever, there's some water over here. So I actually suggested that to my couple last week and they ended up doing it. So just a little tip out there for you guys. If you've got an outdoor ceremony coming up and this week is in the 90s again. So same deal. Same Mary Poppins deal for me. I think one of them's inside, one of them's outside. Just dealing with the elements. It's just what the DJ does. Now, it wasn't just us. The photographer, videographer, they were all sweating too. And luckily, the venue gave me like a golf cart, so I didn't have to at least walk and carry all my shit afterwards. So they were cool about that. But just while everyone's watching the ceremony, and when I met Trevor last year, the DJ's in the back, Jesus, blowing away in the wind. Hoping my stuff doesn't overheat. I don't know. I think I'm more scared of the heat than the cold. Like, I just booked a December wedding for this year. And they want to do their ceremony in a barn that has no heat, no nothing. And so she was like, will you do that? And initially, I want to say no. What are we talking about here? What are we doing to people? December? So I set some parameters. And I also added some parameters as well with rain. So I don't want to get rained on again. So I sort of said a thing like, hey, listen, if there's a 40% chance of rain, then I won't go out, unless if there's a tree or whatever, then it's fine. But I cannot get drizzled on. I cannot get wet. So you need to consider that when you're deciding. If the venue offers you an indoor option, take it. Just take it. I know you're not going to have that outdoor ceremony, but do you want a wet one? It's a nice day for a wet wedding. Nobody wants that either. Your guests don't want to get soaked out there. So what I told her for the indoor one, I set a degree. I was like, all right, if it's over, what did I say? I think 30 or 35 degrees. I said, if it's over, I think 35. I said, if it's over 35 degrees, then I can do it. But you got to keep the ceremony like under 20 minutes, 15, 20 minutes. Because the same thing happens. I did a 30-degree wedding in January. I think it was this year or last year. I can't remember. I think it was this year. No, I don't remember. But, and I was noticing the iPad just gets a little slow, right? those hand warmers work. But I know the speakers can do better in cold than it does in heat. You know, it'll do all right. But one thing you notice is like the screen gets a little bit more delayed. And so I don't know, I get a little bit worried about that. I don't know what you guys think. Put that in the comments. Smash that Cleveland Terry head. That's that like button right there. Do you have like a cold outdoor policy? And I feel like it's a good idea to set some parameters because, you know, trudging through the snow in negative or 1 degree, you know, just because I want to please the client, you know, you're going to ruin all your stuff or go out there and just get totally drenched, which has happened to me. I got totally drenched once. We had to grab all my stuff and throw it in some chicken barn. There's chicken shit all over the place. I was soaked, guys, soaked for the rest of the day. It is no fun. It is no fun to deal with that. Then I had some issues with my Sennheiser mic. The screw cap that goes on the outside just broke. Would not screw or unscrew. So that is being sent back. And the thing I'm most bummed about is my rechargeable batteries in there. So I'm hoping I get that back from them. Okay. Let's get to I'm gonna guys give you a little sneak peek of my Vibo, my planning sheet, how I plan and prep for weddings. And then after I'm done with that, we'll bring Jack on and we'll talk about gear. We'll have a good time with him. But let me go ahead and should be able to share my screen. And here's my Vibo. So what I want to do is just give you guys a quick view of like the template, the questions that I ask, how I have it set up. I will say this is probably my favorite DJ tool that I have, and it's worth every penny. It's, you know, it's $100 a month, but I pay yearly. So if you pay yearly, it's $1,000 for the year. And I don't know if that went up or not, but that was the price I'm locked into. But the thing I love about this, I've pretty much used this as my full system. Now, the only thing it doesn't do is like, it doesn't email, it doesn't like do lead follow-ups or anything like that, which I'm sure I need to start looking into something like that because my lead flows are getting really a lot right now. I've had at least like 10 or 15 just this week. So I need some help with that. But here's what my outside looks like, and I'll answer your questions as I go. Yeah, my Matthew, my template is public. Actually, if you go here let me just pull it up. So if you go to templates, oh, that's just mine. Where's the one where it shows everybody's? I don't know. Oh, public templates. Here we go. Oh, you son of a bitch. How'd you get higher than me, Matthew? I thought I was number 1. DJ Rachel. Oh, I don't even see mine here anymore. Where's mine? My template is called Aaron Strawn. So if you go to public templates, how come mine's not on the top? Is it because it's mine and I can't see it? Probably. Oh, whatever. It doesn't matter. All right. So here's what the events page looks like. So here's all the weddings I have upcoming. You can see I've got 58 coming up. Here are my couples. Now, if you see the red dot, that means that the event is locked and they can't make any more. They can't make any more changes to it. Now, I just opened up. I usually have it locked like 3 days before the wedding. Like today is my music prep day, so it's usually locked by now. But she had to make a couple of changes. And then it'll tell you the last time it was modified, how many people are signed in, and you know how they're doing in their planning progress, all that stuff right there. So we're gonna go through these guys. This is my Sunday wedding. This is for Sunday. So you can see here it has your date, and then I write here like my arrival time, what time the ceremony starts, and when the last song is supposed to be, the venue, and then it's just some different toggles that you can have on, like host can invite guests. So I rarely have guests log in. Basically, that's just all they can do is just add songs if they want. So it kind of creates like a social part of it, but I'm not seeing a lot of people do that. Guests can invite guests is off. Hosts can add new sections. So if they want to add something, they can. Song limit for new sections. We'll get into all that. So then what you do is if you go to people, what happens is this is my couple here. And then when I want to add people, I hit plus. And if I invite by email, here's the pre-made thing I have done that sends out to couples if they book me, and it has like my Venmo in there. It lets them know that their contract or payment info. Feel free to add guests. If you have any questions, hit me up. So then I just put their email right here and send it. And it's done. And then they log in right away. It's just so easy. So that's a pre-made thing. So I don't have to type that every time. It's good to go. Then if we go to timeline, here's how I have mine set up here. Right away, I put a timeline suggestion. And this is for the Midwest, for the idea of, our weddings work differently here than you guys. Ours are longer. So I'm trying to help people. I'm trying to help them stay away from those long ass weddings. So I have like a Sunday thing right here. 4:30 ceremony, 5 cocktails, 6 dinner, 7 first, 9:30 last song. And then I give them some tips about. Oh, and the reason why that's shorter is because I actually have a Saturday and a Friday, but because I knew they were a Sunday, I deleted the other days because there's no point to having that in there. Let them know about the Grand March. Here's 2 to 3 minutes. So, you don't have to have that take forever. Dinner, if you have over 200 guests, buffet, have 2 lines running. Then the dance. Keep your dance 2 to 3 hours max. Leave your guests wanting more songs. Anything over this, I promise, is too long. Ending at 11. Midnight sounds more badass, but ending at 11 allows guests to get home at a safer time. What'd you say here, Matthew? Skip the email. Skip the email. Send the link in your existing email SMS thread. I've had Vibo blocked. Oh, okay. That's something I could do too, but I haven't had that issue. And what's nice, I think it's cool to have like a separate email come through. That way they don't have, I get that too. That's not a bad idea. All right, then their contract. So we scroll down here. Here's where they get to their contract. And this is everything that I have in my. Now, it's not long. You guys can see here. Boom. That's it. This is everything I have for them. What I let them know. Here's everything you get. Your final balance due the week of the wedding. Terms of service, payment terms, deposits and confirmation, cancellations. You have to, if you're going to cancel without me giving your money back, you have to do it within 90 days. And even police or government closing, location promoter loses their license, facility improperly equipped, fire, war, or act of God. Travel and accommodations. I've reworked this a couple times. If the event is located outside of 30 miles of the metro area, the client may be asked to pay a small travel fee. I don't really do that. I only do that if it's like over like a 2-hour drive. Then I might add a hotel and a fee. For destinations even further, an additional fee may be added to cover hotel costs for one night. Equipment requirements, there's a power I need. Live musicians, I recently now added a fee for that. So if they want to have like a fee for, or if they want to bring somebody out to sing during their ceremony, I charge extra for that. Unruly guests, the DJ may discontinue services during the event if there's constant harassment by guests, which include verbal, sexual, or any other forms. This will be determined by the DJ's discretion. And then there's a little hint at the gratuity. You guys tell me what you think about that. I used to mention that in my Zoom calls. I don't anymore. Ever since I started my own company, I don't mention gratuity, but there's a little hint down there at the bottom. Okay, and then payment info. So here's where they have their packages, what they want. The standard is if it's just a reception only, and that's $19.95, and then full is $24.95. And if they want to add anything else. Now, these guys added uplighting, which is $300, and then that live musician fee. So they have somebody singing a song, so I have to bring extra shit. So I charge for that. And right here, 7 hours. So I've started adding hours to my time. I don't do unlimited anymore. Unlimited was creating that sort of long day, that long wedding that nobody wants, right? So most people are staying within that parameter. I take a $400 deposit and I mark off, yes, they did that, how they did it. And then if they did, they did Venmo. And then if they did their final payment, yes. And did they get their final Zoom done? Yes, scheduled, and then their balance. So that's what they owed me, but that's taken care of. Well, let's just take care of that right now. Bop, 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 bop. 0. They paid. Oh, wait, holy shit. No, they didn't pay me yet, actually. Hold on. They did not pay me. What did that just say? What did that just say? Was that $25.95? They didn't pay me yet. What didn't they pay me? It was $25.95, right? Oh my God. What a dumbass. Okay. There it is. They didn't pay me yet. I gotta hit them up, actually. They owe me. These guys owe me money. Was it $25.95? Is that what it was? I feel like that's what it was. Who was paying attention? Oh, shit. Anyways, all right. General info here. How many peoples? They can rate their party, their wedding planner, photographer, how late the photographer's staying, and then if they ordered uplights, what color they want. And now these are everything that my Ape Labs can do. And then is it okay for me to snap pics at the event? Yes or no? I think that's important because There was one time I posted a video and one of the guests messaged me on Instagram and asked me to take it down. And I think it was because either she wasn't supposed to be there, she cut out work or something, but basically she was like, "Can you please take that down? It's gonna get me in a lot of trouble," and didn't go any further into the details. So I asked, "Is it cool for me to do that?" Then these guys wanted some preceding music, and they're supposed to put a Spotify link right there, which they didn't. So hopefully I'll get that, and then I can export that to Spotify. There's Beat Source as well, and then any notes that I want. These are my notes that are privately for me. All right, then we get all the ceremony details, what time it starts, outdoor, who the officiant is, are there any readers, and then I wrote down here we got a singer guitar. How are they doing their vows? And then here's all the music. So all the music here. Now, the one thing I'll just add here is I like to write down, who starts. What's the beginning of the ceremony so I know how many people, how do I know when we're done, the bride song, this is the wedding and the bride song, and then do they have any flower girls, ring bearers? So there's a lot of details in here, right? And then once the day of gets there, I usually ask the officiant, "Hey, what's the last thing you say so I know when to punch the recessional?" So then we get to cocktails. They get to pick their vibe, where it is. And then these guys have a mariachi band coming, which is cool. And so they let me know all the details of that. And then they want people to come in after cocktail and kind of stand around the dance floor because after the Grand March, they want to do their first dance. So here we have the wedding party intro. And it's just a couple. I'm not bringing in any more of the guests. And then how they want to be announced and introduced. And then they're going right into their first dance. And I always tell them, like, if you guys are done. Okay, thanks, Alex. Alex just took care of me. Thanks, my guy. So if it's I always tell them, like, hey, if you're done with your first dance, if you're over it, just give a little kiss and a dip and I'll fade it out. And then they're going to go cut their cake right afterwards. And then there's like a little welcome here. Here's another tip. I don't know. I asked them, what table? What table is this person at? So I can go find them. And usually they have their name cards on there. So I'll walk up or I'll send Mike over. Hey, find the blessing person or this opening speech. And I go over there and give them a little heads up. Hey, here's the plan. After I bring them in, do all this. Just here's the microphone. Just keep it close to your chin. Make sure we can hear you. And then just stay there. I'll come pick it up whenever we're done. And then I wrote a little, if I need notes on like how to pronounce their name, like this guy's name I've never heard of before. So, Lataro. Then now I know how to do it. Week of, yeah, is that you're asking if that's when I take their final balance? Yeah. So I do a final Zoom call the week of or the week before, and then that's when I collect all their money. I prefer that. I like getting it. I like getting it there. 60. Okay, so good question here. I collect 60 days before, 30 days as a grace period to be nice. I don't want it then. I want it the week of. I want to feel like I got. If I get it 60 days before, I almost feel like I'm doing their wedding for free. That's just me. I want it that day, and I feel like, all right, I worked. There's my check. I got paid. I never collect the day of. That would stress me the hell out. So I'd never do that. But I don't want it too soon. In fact, sometimes when people do payment plans and they're like, "Can we pay you like $200 a month for the next 18 months?" I'm like, no, I don't want to do that. I want a chunk, baby. That's why my deposit's low as well. I want a big chunk at the end. I want a big fucking chunk. All right, let's go here. Then speeches, who's talking, who's giving, what their title is, BM Best Man, Matrons of Honor, Father of the Bride, and then their dessert plan. What's the plan here? All right, then they're going to go take their sunset photos, and then they have their first dance at 8:15. And, what's, oh, no, they already did the first. This is the father dance. I'm sorry, father-daughter dance. Yeah, so I say, would you like me to fade the song out? Yes, 2:50. And what's your dad's name? So I collect that information for both. All right. Here's something that they're doing that I thought was cool. I feel Sean agreeing with me. I feel the same way. I feel I earned. Yeah, exactly. That's me. Like I want that big chunk. I feel like I worked all day. If I go do a wedding on Saturday and I got paid 60 days ago, I can't. Mentally, I can't get behind that. I can't get around that. I feel like these guys are ripping me off because the money's spent. It's already gone. I want it sitting there. I want to look at that big chunk. I like bloating up my Venmo. Okay, so these guys are doing something interesting I've never seen before, and we're going to try it out. So after the parent dances, what they want to do is to get everybody on the dance floor is they're going to have their photographer out there. And instead of doing like the big group photo where you're like, hey, everybody come on, we're going to get a group photo. They're going to take individual photos with tables. So I'm going on there and go, all right, table 10, come on up. So table 10 walks up, snaps a photo with the bride and groom, and then they stay on the dance floor. And then like table 12. So it's going to take a bit to do that. But I do know that I've done the group photo idea to get people on the dance floor, and not everybody comes and does that. But if you do this idea, you at least will get everybody on. Now, look, does everybody stay? Of course not. After you play the first song, the non-dancers will walk off the dance floor. I'm not gonna dance to this, and they're gone. Fine, goodbye. Don't need ya. All right. Also, do not come up to me and complain about the bass. I don't want to hear it. So I'm really curious about how this is gonna fly. They kind of came up with an idea, and I was like, let's try it. I love the idea of trying some new stuff that we've never done. Have you guys ever done anything like this? Let me know. But then we will do, after everybody's on, we'll snap one photo where everyone's looking at the camera, and then I wrote there, drop a banger. Then they're going to hand out these fiber optic wands towards the end of the night, and then they're actually doing a legit sparkler send-off. Thank God. Last call is at 9:30. Last song, this is a Sunday. Last song is at 10. So we're going to do Marry You by Bruno Mars, and then I'm going to have everybody go outside with their fiber optic wands, and then they're going to do a send-off, and then they're going to go. Requests. So this is the spot where they can put all their requests. Now, I only limit that to 20. I don't let them go any higher than that. I don't want to get boxed in by some huge list, guys. And I explain that to couples when we first meet. Time to smash the like button. There's Terry. Please hit the like button. We're only at 10. Get me to 20 right now. How many people are here? This 44 is here. Hit that like button. It's easy. Just right above and just hit that thumb. Just like that. Just hit that thumb. Just do that. Hit that thumb if you're ready to see Jack. I'm about to bring him on in the next couple minutes here. Jack, don't fall asleep. I'm going to bring you on, baby. He's right there. There we go. Here's where you have your song requests, and it's easy to add stuff onto there. And, these guys only gave me 4 songs, so I'll hit them up too. Like, hey, give me a couple more. But they don't need to, because we chatted a little bit. And I dig a little bit during that final Zoom. Once I see these genres up there, I try to throw out, hey, who are you guys liking? And when they wrote country, I'm like, all right, what kind of country are you into? And they were saying Shania, and I go, what about Goodbye Earl? Which, by the way, has been killing it right now. Goodbye Earl, for some reason, is just, it's Jack if that's working down in Texas, but he might be giving us some good country bangers. Almost there at 19. Let's go. Get to 20. Go, 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 go. 20, 20, 20, 20, 20, 20. Go, 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 go. There we go. Thank you. Enrique, Bruno, Usher, they're saying they like 2000s stuff. I love it. And a little bit of EDM, David Guetta. So great. So then they can check off the genres. Like, now I've added some before there's some new genres here. Like, I have like Ratchet on there and a couple other things on there. And then let's take a look at the don't plays. No Macarena, no Shake It Off, and specifically the groom hates the song Mr. Brightside. Thanks, Mike. Thank you, guys. Thank you. He's here. Yo, he's here, baby. Bringing him on just a bit here. Like to share. Thanks, Mike. Yeah, that's just my way. Yeah, exactly. That's just kind of how I like to do it. That making comeback for me too. Yeah, I don't know what's going on, but I've mentioned it a couple times during my calls. After I took a gamble. I had it on a list. I played it and went over so well. The next week I had a country crowd, and they asked for like an old Alan Jackson song. So I was just like, I wonder if this is gonna work here too. And it did. Like, the bride screamed as soon as like like as soon as that came on, she was like screaming around, like running around, like, do you believe it? So I don't know what's going on, but that one is killing right now. Goodbye Earl is a huge hit, at least right now. Okay, there it is, guys. It's as easy as that. So no, it doesn't take care of payments, but let me go back up to that payment info so that you can see. I do have a link to my Venmo. So there's 2. There's one right here, and then there's one where they can see their final balance. All they have to do is click on that, and then they can pay me through Venmo right there. There it is. That's how we do it. Okay, Let's bring him on. Are you guys ready? I want you to make some noise, shout it out. I'm gonna get a nice little applause. Here he comes. I don't have my Bruce Buffer anymore, but here he comes. It's Jack Kristian, everybody! Hold on, I muted you. I got you. No,
Am I on?
You're on. What's up, bro?
Hello.
Get a load of that. Get a load of this guy, man. I just get ready to fall in love with this guy. All right, Jack. We met DJ X. What was it? 2 years ago?
Last year.
Oh, it was last year?
It was last year. I've only been to DJ X one time. And it was that party on the. It's not the beach, but out the outside one.
Yeah, like it is kind of beachy. It's one of the outdoor ones where the bars, like the tiki bars there, right? And then like we all just hang around and listen to some DJ for 4 hours. Are you all right? I'm just this. It's always gonna be random how I talk, but are you a DJ that likes to watch other DJs? Like, are you into like sitting there for like an hour and just 2 hours and just watch somebody? You are?
Dude, I literally it like scratches all my itches. And I think it's because being a little bit older, having kids and kind of being out of the clubbing days, to be able to go and see another DJ do their thing, like I love that. So going to the conferences, my favorite part is the parties, not just for the party, but for actually seeing DJs do their thing and being inspired. And yeah, I love all that. And even like, dude, even when I go to the gym or I'm in the car or on the way to a wedding, I'm like the loser that's always listening to Mixcloud and other DJ stuff. And dude, I just love it. Yeah.
Well, you nailed a good point. It's inspiring, gives you some ideas, not to copy or steal, but of course, let's copy and steal a little bit. Why not? Or like, oh, I never thought of putting those two songs together. It is kind of fun to watch somebody do their craft and work. I guess for me, it's that like I love watching Even Steve. I don't know. Do you know who that is?
Steve's awesome.
And it's because he does a lot of word plays and a lot of songs with like that we know. You know what I mean? He's good at mixing like the bangers together and coming up with creative ways. I'm more into that than listening to like a house for 2 hours just to bass and drums. Do you know what I mean?
Dude, 100%. Like the DJX parties kind of last year, like that first night where it was just the house DJ. Like he was a great DJ, but he was the wrong DJ for us, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
And then at some of the other parties where it was actually event DJs, club DJs, open format, just I feel like people connected with that a whole lot better. So yeah, I'm actually totally okay with going and listening to another DJ like mix ABBA and Bruno Mars. Like I want to see how you do it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm totally if it's open format, I'm all over it.
Well, check out this comment from Alex, and so let's get into it. He says, I get couples that ask me often if I will DJ their wedding like the English Jack guy. Bro, that's sick, my guy. This is one of the things I wanted to bring you on. You're killing it on the socials, and I think what I'm hoping to get a little inspiration, maybe share a little bit of your secret sauce. Not everything. Don't give all your secrets away, all right? But what you're doing is working. The algorithm is always suggesting your content to me, and I get people sending me your stuff all the time. That has to feel good, like you're doing something right. What was the starting process for you? And you told me before we started the show, like you kicked off on TikTok and then moved to Instagram. So help us out here. Same with me. Like I can't get my Instagram to grow for shit. So I don't know what's going on. I don't know. I'm doing something wrong. But tell us what's working, bro. How you got started and share your secrets.
So I wish, and if I could literally be like, do this and it will work, I totally would tell you guys. I'll be honest, it's throwing enough crap at the wall and seeing what sticks. And I've tried everything. When I first started that TikTok account, I was making like cheesy voiceover videos.
Okay.
And like knocking 2 or 3 out a day just to kind of gain some traction and kind of get going. And then I went into kind of the mixing, and I was super insecure about posting anything music wise in case people come at you and tell you you're terrible, or the trolls are rush. So I was really hesitant on that, and then once I realized actually I'm as crazy as this sounds, I'm not posting content for DJs, even though I love that DJs like my content. I'm posting my content to get clients. It's the clients that are connecting mostly with my content. Then once I got past the barrier of worrying about the trolls, the rest didn't matter. And
Yeah.
once I found, potential brides like this format of mixing, whether it's two songs that shouldn't go together and just work really, really well, or whether it's the songs that the bride had given me from her must play list, I pretty much will ride that train. So if I have a video that pops off, so recently I had one that popped off, which was like a guest coming up with a song request, mixed it as quickly as I could in, and then posted it. It blew up. So then I was like, for the next few weeks, almost hoping that I got some more song requests, because then I could make more of that content. And
I
I
see.
went back and kind of reposted some of the ones that didn't work initially and kind of followed that trend and blew them up. And then once they stopped working, just got to find what the next thing is. So I would like to think that a lot of my content, it's not all the same. There's a lot of 360 content. There's a lot of content straight from, the iPhone, or there's some moving content from iPhone. And it's all just continuing to post and post and post and just be consistent. I think consistency has ultimately been key.
Instagram and TikTok like that. I know that you're continuing to put out content, and if it's getting eyes and engagement's a big deal too, right? Because I had a video that got big views and then it didn't get a lot of engagement, and Instagram was like, and fuck that video. That's it.
And so it's funny you said, like, I will literally, if I post a video of mixing, it might get, X amount of views. And then I posted some different content this week, mostly because my recordings failed at my wedding, so I couldn't use the overlay during editing, so they all had bad sound. So I was like, okay, this week I've got to make some different content. So I kind of set it up in my studio and recorded some stuff. They're getting like 400 views a day. I'm like, are you kidding?
What happened? Yeah,
It just doesn't, like, if you try and do something different, it just doesn't know what to do with the content. So
interesting.
it's
So
tough.
it's like it doesn't recognize it almost. I think I know what you're saying. Like, are you talking about, because most of your stuff is right, it seems live at the gig, that 360 stuff, and then you put a video of, like, right now, this background, you, and they're like, who the fuck is this guy? And like, well, I'm the guy in the other video. And I'm like, no, you're not. We're not we're not putting
It's
that out there. We're not putting that out there. I'm sorry. Is it cool? Is it true too? And I feel like some stuff I've captured was when I started going, I'm just going to run the 360 all night. Do you just run yours all night long?
Yeah, for the most part. So pretty much, I don't run it during the ceremony, during cocktail hour, anything like that. Once I
Yeah.
go out and I greet the wedding party and the bride and groom, get them ready for entrances, I'll come back in, turn on the 360 cam, get a swig of water, start entrances. So I always record entrances just in case something fun happens. You never know.
Mm-hmm.
Or sometimes just the MCing might just be extra crispy, and you're like, actually, I'm gonna post that.
Yeah.
I may post, if they're gonna do something fun during a father-daughter dance, and I know something crazy is gonna happen, I'll record then. And then pretty much the only time that camera's running at a wedding is during dancing. And I have extra batteries, and I have a massive SD card, and I'll just tell my assistant, please just make sure that's blinking the whole time. If it's not, just turn it on for me and just keep it running all night, because you never know. Sometimes, even though you've got in your head, I'm gonna mix really well tonight and I'm gonna get some really cool mix footage, you never know if a bridesmaid's gonna come up and
Mm-hmm.
throw their drink over you, or what you
Yeah.
just don't
Or
know
some
what could
guest will
happen.
come up and complain. Or, bro, like, the video of the groom bringing the taser up was fucking hysterical. Like, that is a first, I think, I've ever seen. So
Welcome to
you had to
Texas.
be thinking, and I think you even mentioned this, like, I'm posting this, bro. And it's like, of course, because it's one of those things where if you can capture a moment, see, that's what's been happening to me. I had a bride come out and belt her lungs out and nail At Last. It was something that wasn't planned. I pulled up the song, and using stems, I could pull the vocals out for her, and she just sang, and the whole place went nuts, right? And I thought my 360 was running. I'm like, oh great, and I looked at it, and it was off, and I was like, fuck, just like so bad, and because the battery died. And I've
It,
recently been coming up with the problem is my SD card is too full, so I need you. That was good tips you just said. Have extra batteries and just have a big ass SD card there. And are you shooting in 4K or with the 360? You are? Okay.
yes, I shoot in 4K, and I use the Insta360 RS, the 1 inch, which has the massive sensors on the side, and it's made for low lighting. So once we open up the dance floor, it I'm not. I used to have the X2, and I was really struggling to brighten it up, and if I did brighten it up, the resolution was all grainy. With this one, it's way, way, way better. And like that moment you were just saying, if the camera was on and would have caught that moment from like a bride standpoint, like the audience for you there would have been like DJs, because you use stems to take out their vocals, but then also brides, to be able to show brides that if you have a
Yeah.
moment, I can work on the fly to give you that little moment at your wedding. Would have been
I
incredible.
know,
So
dude. I came home and I told Amy,
I've had
she's like,
so many of those.
yeah, she was like, did you get that? I was like, I didn't get that. She goes, what the fuck is wrong with you? And I'm like, I know. There's been so many things that have happened. Matthew makes a good point here. You could definitely plug it in USB-C. That's what I did in my old booth. In my old booth, I ran a long USB-C cable and then just kind of had it come out. So if I needed to power up my my 360, I think I need to get that new one. Is that the new one you're talking about? The low light? Is it the newest one? The 360
It's
you have?
I think they've now come out with either the X3 or the X4, but I have the RS. I'll send you a photo of it. Um,
Okay.
it's really nice. It's really nice. Now, the only issue with them is, especially like I know you up there, you have much longer dance sets. They can overheat. So if
Mm,
every now and again you might have to let it sit for 15 minutes before you turn it back on, just let it cool down, especially if
okay.
you're constantly running it. But yeah, it's awesome just to have the option to get the camera. And there's weddings that I go to that I don't capture anything. And then there's weddings that I might get 4 videos out of one wedding. So
Is
just
it just because
having
it
it,
just nothing happened? Is that what you go through it, you're like, yeah, nothing really stood out to me. Is that what you're thinking?
yeah, yeah, like yeah, either there wasn't a whole lot of happened between like interactions between me and guests or me and the couple or anything like that, or their playlist could have been just very standard.
Yeah.
It
Just
could
too
have just
vanilla.
been very easy and not worth posting. So yeah, sometimes it's just not much of a party, so there's not much to post. So, you know,
Mm-hmm.
let's be honest.
Yep, it's true. It
We all,
happens.
we all have them. People don't want to talk about it. We all have those weddings where it just doesn't kick off like you think.
Even when they think it does, and you hitting them with everything they got, and the guests are just like, no, we're not dancing, Aaron. We're not dancing. I don't care how fucking cool that mix was. I remember I did a mix. Um, I had nobody. I had like 2 bridesmaids on the dance floor, and I recorded. And I think I caught her saying this, but she goes, "You're not getting the credit you deserve." I'm like, get your friends back over here. Like you try to do everything you can, to get them. What's your go-to, like, if you got a party and you're just struggling? What's your mentality during that, and what's your process? Like, where do you go mentally?
So, I tell you what, I struggle. Not that I struggle. It bothers me more now than what I used to. I'd say, 3 or 4 years ago, if I didn't have people dancing, I'd be like, well, they're just not dancers. But now I definitely have the anxiety that if they're not dancing,
It's
it's a
you.
reflection on, because
Yeah.
they've hired me, people at the wedding recognize me from social media and stuff. They anticipate it. And we all know you can have a DJ that is mixing incredibly well, but if the crowd's not there, the crowd's not there. We've all had bad crowds, and that can be frustrating. But pretty much now my system is, if they're not dancing, switch it. Keep switching it until you can get 2 people, 3 people on the dance floor, and then build it from there. Just build it, build it, build it. And then if you play someone and they leave, switch it instantly. I used to sometimes feel like, everyone has their routines and what they like to play, right?
Hmm.
And especially if I get into like a deep 2000s hip hop, right in that 90s to 100 BPM, I can mix that for 45 minutes, quick
Right.
mix,
Fun.
chorus into chorus into chorus, and I can be loving it. But if I see that they're getting burnt out and it's too fast, or they're just over it and they need something different, rather than looking at where I feel like in the earlier years, I would look at my playlist and be like, okay, I'm gonna play 8 more quick mix songs, and then I'll switch it. I'm like, forget it. We'll switch it. We'll come back to it.
Just do it
Because I
now.
know that if just switch it, why extend if they're burnt out and they need something different? Just give them something different. So I will literally go from, if we're right there in like the hundreds, I will just switch it straight and go like no hands in the 130s, or
Yeah.
um,
Right in the
you
country or
know,
something.
drop it straight into Grove Street Party way up in the 70s. So yeah, just
They'll go
switch it, man.
along. I'm with you, bro. Like they'll go along, and that's the fatigue is sometimes people ask like, how are you? What does it mean to read the crowd? That's part of it too. Not only are they dancing, but like, oh, did I over? And I've been in that situation where I kind of want to push one more. I'm like, oh man, it's going. But if I do this, oh, and I got that one. Like they'll love this, and then I throw it up, and I can tell they're like, oh, they were done. I pushed them too hard. All right, just kidding. Whoop. Ba, da, 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 da. Slow down.
Yeah,
If you hit them too hard in 128s, and I could sometimes see like after that last chorus, if they're hands on the knees like this, right? Like that move right there. It's like, oh, it's time that we need to drop the BPMs down. Give them a little break. Give them a
and
break.
then you smash him straight into low by Flow Rider. Have one more.
And they're like, no, I love this song, but I can't. Aaron, we can't breathe, right? So
Yeah.
that's a massive part of it, and I've definitely found myself in like, I went too long. I took it. I went one more longer than I should, and it's just because they're exhausted, right?
And,
They're just
and
exhausted.
there's nothing wrong with just taking a good sing along, just to get them all back united. Give them a break where they haven't got to rage, but let them sing and chant and cheer and do their thing, and then we get back into it.
Yeah.
So like one of the transitions I've been really enjoying recently, especially coming off the back of that, 90s 100 BPM, is I'll end somewhere between like gas pedal or drop that thun thun or something like that, and then just stem it straight into unwritten and just let it come
Mm.
in over gas pedal, staring at the blank page, and then literally as it drops, bring unwritten all the way in. Let them have the three. I'll play that song almost all the way through. Let them recharge. Let them sing every chorus and go for it. And then from there, I'll make the decision. Are we switching BPMs? And now we're going into 120s. Are we going up to the 80s? What? Or from there, you can then almost go get low or
Yeah.
party up DMX. So there's lots to kind of work with. But I like to just give them a moment to get the aunts and the uncles back up. They can chant, they can cheer, do their thing. And then it also gives you some time to like mentally prepare and look at the crowd in front of you and decide what's the next best move.
Yeah.
So
Letting the song breathe is a big part of it. Like I think with social media and with other DJs talking and chatting, it just set this expectation. Like if you're not quick mix, you got to quick mix the whole night. And would you disagree with that?
I think it depends on the song. I'm very fast in my quick mixing, but only for certain songs. There's certain songs that people aren't that bothered about. I feel like when the chorus hits, the mood drops. But when they hear the chorus, they go crazy. So I'll just literally mix chorus, chorus, chorus. But if we if
Mm,
we are playing "Don't Stop Believing" by Journey, I'm not gonna quick mix that because they're gonna be upset. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
there's certain
Yeah.
songs I'll
Let that
let
ride.
September ride longer. I let Flow Rider low. I feel like people kind of know that chorus, or sometimes Yeah by Usher, I'll let them have the second chorus. There's certain songs that I feel like the second chorus will hit, And then there's other songs that you absolutely want to play all the way through. I
Did you
think
Luda? Do you
sometimes
let it ride? Do you let Baby ride all the way to Luda?
I have an edit. So actually, and DJs, you got to put your hands up. One of my favorite edits for Baby is the Even Steve. The Even
Dude, bro.
Steve
Don't stop talking.
Heaven.
Stop. Don't give this away. I don't want anyone else to know about this.
You got to sign up to Even Steve's Patreon. You can find him at Even Steve.
I will reveal this secret to members only because, bro, I know exactly what you're
It's
talking
a
about.
banger. So good.
Fucking kills every time. It kills, and like I get chills when I play it because the crowd literally goes, "What the fuck?" and turns around and looks at me, and they lose their minds. They lose their minds.
Okay, here's my thing when I do play that, and my assistant always laughs because he knows it's coming. Because I want it to make it abundantly clear because you never know who's at a wedding. It could be another DJ, it could be whatever. I take a step back when it
Oh, you do?
transitions, so
No,
they know I'm not faking. You know, I'm like,
Yeah, bro, I'm faking it. It's me. That's me
I'll
doing that.
I'll sing along with it, but I'm not gonna like pretend, you know. So,
Yeah.
but no, that edit, you know, it drops right in at the chorus, straight to the Ludiverse,
Yeah.
one more chorus, and then out from there.
It's the right amount. It's the right amount of that one, and in the right part. You know, same with like Holla Back Girls. I'll do a verse, chorus, and then I skip right to Bananas. Just get right to it. You know, that's the thing I want to hear.
I literally have an edit, and it comes in, it's just shit, and then literally, I think it's chorus. It might even be chorus, Bananas, chorus, out.
Wow. Okay.
Which is, yeah.
So besides Even Steve, where else are you getting? Who do you go to? Who your go to mixes or your DJ pool? Where are you getting your stuff?
I love DMS.
Uh-huh.
I love BPM.
Yeah.
And I'm on, not on, I pay heavy hitters. Every now and again, heavy hitters will have something that nothing else, especially if I'm looking for like a remix. That's super cool. But some of my favorite guys, Steve's up there because I feel like even Steve makes edits for wedding DJs. It just works. It's easily mixable.
And you know what the irony? He doesn't do weddings. He hardly ever does. He doesn't do them much.
No,
but he plays his stuff at the club, but it kills there, and it kills at weddings too. You know, because he's playing the hits. He's playing the hits, the songs that people know.
For sure. And I love an icon edit, an epic intro icon edit. Yeah, gets me in all the feels.
Right. Now you made a good point there. So I guess we could faking it. You know, I think if you were posting, like I think that some DJ posted that edit we were talking about that we're not going to talk about. Just because I don't want every DJ in Minnesota to start doing it and steal my thunder. But posting it online like, oh, I did this. I think that's one thing, but it's interesting you back up. Like, I didn't do this. You know, for me, in my head, I'm like, no, I want them to think I did this. And here's why. Here's why I'm stealing it. All of a sudden, and I usually do this early in the night, I play that like maybe the 5th or 6th song. And the reason is because when you get that Blue Heaven part, that's the part that a lot of the old timers recognize, and they're stoked. And the young people know it too. They recognize that. But then when it goes to Baby and that does that mix, I feel like everybody in the crowd goes, holy shit, this guy's awesome. And then they don't request as many, and then they don't come up with requests. They don't want to fuck about my vibe. You know what I mean?
But okay, here's my thing though. And
go ahead.
I am always fully like nowadays, and you're probably the exact same. When you show up to a wedding, guests recognize your social media. They know who you are. They will say hello. And I never want to be posted by a guest at a wedding that's like, look at this DJ doing this one thing, and like everyone's like, oh no, that's an edit. He's not really doing any.
That's
you know what I
point.
mean?
That's a good point.
And let's be honest, I play that edit because I feel like the majority of our job is song selection, and whether you like it or not, both of those songs absolutely hit at a wedding. But there's probably 90% of the mixes that I do at a wedding are 100% me back to back to back. So if I'm going to play two that are similar to that one edit that we're not going to talk about, I'm not going to fake that one, because that'll be the one that ends up going nuts.
Right.
You know what I mean? So,
and then they see you just twisting the the low and the mid knobs.
like, give it a little filter.
Yeah, there's no low pass filter in that mix. What the fuck is he doing?
So I don't know. I see both sides,
Jesus.
but I feel like at least if we're honest enough to be like, hey, you mix 90% yourself, but there's every now and again there are those wordplay edits that are just
You just
that's
gotta
okay.
Yeah,
I feel like that's part of the toxicity issue with our industry is DJs just aren't honest enough to be like, oh, I love that edit, I play that. And that's cool. That's totally okay just to be like, that's dope.
It's out there. It's not like
Dude,
you stole
I
it.
DJ'd I DJ'd at which one was NBA last year, okay? That it was the DJ takeover event. Even Steve was also playing that night.
Oh,
and
shit.
I asked him ahead of time because there was one particular edit that I wanted to play of his, and he was like, yeah, cool, play it. Like, at least you can acknowledge. I think I had a moment at Mex where I had I think it was Dirty Little Secret into swing.
Oh,
and
nice.
it had gone viral a week or two before that set, and it wasn't even supposed to be in that set, and I ended up putting it in it was an icon edit of swing. So I made sure that while performing, you just give a little heads up to the to the editor at the back of the room, and Charles.
This is
like
the
that.
way,
But
people. This is the way. Yeah.
we haven't got to lie and be like, oh, we do everything no, come on.
Yeah. But yeah, just take the step back, take a breather. It's all right. What are we trying to do? We're trying to entertain, right? Trying to entertain the crowd. And there's lots of great tools out there, lots of better DJs out there than me that are doing cool shit. And if they're saying, hey, here it is, and I can get it, then I'm going to play it. And I don't see what the problem is. But you're right. Just like that, it's give the credit. Don't pretend like you're doing it, unless you're doing that mix that I'm talking about. Anyways. Hey, let's do we're gonna do this segment I like to call Mic Check. I did this with Cleveland Terry last week. I'm gonna kind of rip through some questions for you, and then just give me your first response that you have. Somebody had I thought I saw had a quick question for you, maybe not. Somebody was asking about it, that song, and then Alex just said he just looked on Google and found it. So Google just lost me $2 of a new member. Thanks a lot, Google. Fuck you. What's up, Steven? What's up, bro? DJ Hendrick asks, Aaron, do you spend more time searching for music or ways to get around requests? Do you spend more time searching for music or ways to get around? Here's my request, and I want to know what you do too, and then we'll do mic check. Bro, this has been working. I mentioned this, I think, in the show last week or something. I forget. But I'm printing off their must playlist on a sheet of paper. And then when a guest comes up with some whack-ass request that I just know, like, hey, I've never heard it. And then don't you love it when you tell them, like, oh, what? And they tell you, like, oh, I don't know if and they look at you like, don't look at me like that. All right? Not only do I do this for a living, not only am I dialed in, not only do I hear every fucking request, like, don't look at me like that, right? So then I hand them over the bride's request list. I go, pick something off there. I'll play it. And they're like, oh, okay. And they look through and they're like, how about this one? And they leave happy and they walk away. What do you think what is your process? And then do you think that would work where you are?
Dude, I actually like that idea of literally presenting the must playlist and being like, do you like anything on here? Because it's almost like what you do with kids. You give them two options that
right.
You win either way, but they get to feel like they chose you. You know what I mean?
You gotta treat it like a kindergartner. You got because they're drunk. Yeah.
If a kid doesn't want to get dressed and you're like, do you want to wear the red shirt or the blue shirt? And they're like, the blue shirt. There you go. And now it's their choice to wear the blue shirt. Yeah. I, I, with a request, I always feel like
Oh wait,
it's being
hang on. It did work. Alex did become a member.
yeah.
Thanks, bro.
Let's go, Alex.
Go ahead.
I feel like with requests, I treat requests, and I've made videos on this. I treat requests like anything else at a wedding. Okay, and here's my thought process. So if you turn up to a wedding and you are a guest and they are serving spaghetti because that's what the bride and groom want for their wedding meal, but you want tacos, no one's going to go and make you tacos because that's what you want, right?
Mm-hmm.
Same.
Same.
If the bride and groom are having a strawberry wedding cake and you want chocolate, you're not getting chocolate cake. That's it. Music's the same. The bride and groom have had their input. They've picked out their wedding DJ and they've chosen the vibe and the music that they want for their wedding. So my view is if a wedding request fits within what I feel like fits their vibe and what they want, let's do it. Why not?
Yeah. Yeah.
Why not make a guest happy by playing their song if it fits within what they're looking for, right?
Yeah.
My
You say
issue
you're playing
is
Gasolina. If you play Gasolina and someone comes up and asks for Peppas, okay,
yeah,
I get why you're feeling that. Let's go. You're dialed in, right? You're dialed in. So for sure. But if you're playing Peppas and they come up and ask for Clint Black,
yeah, exactly.
no.
And
Yeah.
that's something that I fight often with, especially down here in the South, because we'll get deep into a deep hip hop or EDM or just high energy vibes, and someone will say, "Hey, can you play us something to Two Step Two? Can we have a slow dance now?" And I make sure that during my final planning meeting with my couples, I ask them, "How would you like me to address this? Do you want me just to feel your requests and use my best judgment? Do you want me to accept all your requests? What do you want me to do?" And 95% of the time, they say, "Jack, make make your best judgment." And
Yeah.
when you do that, I feel like basically you're explaining to the couple you have their best interest at heart. You're going to do what they have paid you to do. You're not a jukebox. You're a professional DJ. You're not just someone that they found on Facebook or on Google. You are someone that they have researched, and they want you to mix the way that you mix. And I explain, when you do quick mix or you do open format mix, if you have guests that are going to ask for 7 or 8 slow dances, 3 minutes a song, you're looking at 20-25 minutes that
Mm,
you could get, you know, 15-20 songs in that time frame if you wanted them that are on your must playlist.
right.
So I think just explaining to the couple that if you don't play a request at a wedding, they understand it was because it wasn't what they had discussed with you. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely, dude, bro. I do the same thing, 100%. If that's why I think that I see some DJs say they don't have a final chat with their couples. I don't get that. It's almost a 30, 40 minute call we have, because what you've done there, what you just explained is what you said. I have your best interest, and they know that, so that if a guest complains to them, your DJ isn't playing my song, they're on my side. They get it. They're not looking at me like, what the fuck, Aaron? You know what I mean? Like, but if you don't have that conversation ahead of time so that they know, like, no, we trust Jack to protect and look over the dance floor here. So when that whack ass request and that Aunt Linda goes up and gets pissed, how come he's not playing a slow dance? Because we paid him because we're having fun, by the way, too, right?
Yeah.
So you're protecting yourself almost. It's a preemptive strike, right? Like, hey, they understand we're all on the same page. But you said 95%. It's true. Maybe a couple will be like, no, that's all right. Just play whatever they want. I don't think I've ever heard anyone say that to me, though. I don't know if I've ever had them go like, no, just let them do what they want. Maybe one or two, maybe. Not usually.
And I've had a couple, but usually, especially if it's a request that empties the dance floor, you almost have the opportunity to like say, "Hey, do you want me to just keep playing requests, or do you want me to go back to your playlist?" But you know what I mean. And then
Yeah,
they're
yeah.
like, they make a game day decision, and you're like, "Okay, we're good," because you
Yeah,
mean,
our music was shit. I'm sorry. And that's true. It's almost like, all right, here you go. Here.
yeah.
Here.
It's,
Just leave me alone.
it's even.
Here.
I have one rule at a wedding. If you really come up and you have a song request that you really want to hear, especially during a dance set that you know are going to get people dancing, you better be on that dance floor. If you're not
Yeah.
on that dance floor within 30 seconds of that song, it's being mixed out.
100%.
If it's not working, of course. If
Right.
it's
And
working,
usually it
I'll be
doesn't.
like, I'll play it off and
I love it when
play
they come
idea.
up, or a non-dancer, somebody that hasn't been dancing all night. They come up and they request a song. And sometimes I'll be like, I haven't seen you out there. Are you gonna dance to this? And they're like, yeah, I'll dance to this. Like, and in my head I go, you're not gonna dance to this. And then I just no. Let me do two quick shout outs here because we just got 2 new members. We got Kenny that just became a member. And Mikey just became a member, or Mickey became a member. Thanks everybody that supports the channel. Appreciate that. I'm having fun, bro. This is cool chatting through all this stuff. We didn't even get to mic check. So let me do mic check with you real quick here. All right.
Okay.
Real fast. DJ conferences you're going to this year.
I did Mex. I'm going to DJX next week. Possibly MBA, and I can't. I will be at Harvester Sound.
Okay. That's the one I'm thinking about going to. The one in Boston, right?
Yep.
Did you do that one yet or no?
I haven't been to that one yet. So it was a kind of a new one. I didn't start going to conferences until last year. And I kind of did the big ones, and then now I'm trying to get to as many as I can. But I'm trying to convince you to come next week.
I don't think it's gonna happen. I don't have any tickets. I mean, I could get tickets. It's not a problem. I don't have anything booked. I have no plan. I'm not going. Sorry, guys. I don't. No, I just can't see it happening. To be honest, I just don't. I don't know. For me, I'm like, I don't feel like I'm gonna miss anything. And then the second thing is I can't get the misses to go. So if I'm gonna do Harvest of Sound is what, November or something? When is that one? December in Boston? Yeah. Oh Christ. Boy, cold. All right. Oh, by the way, from what we talked about last week, I booked a Disney cruise, so I'm going on I just booked that. So what's your vacation plan? I know like summers are crazy. You got kids. How do you unwind? When do you do vacation?
Okay, and this is gonna make people are either going to love me or hate me for this.
Controversial.
With our schedules. Okay. Obviously, I work mostly weekends, and my wife works at 9 to 5, Monday to Friday, which can make it can make for some times where you're never together, right? So we have a rule that if we ever have a full weekend off or 3 back-to-back nights, we go. And we take a trip, we go on vacation. Whether we go down to Galveston, which is, down at the coast just for a few days, or if we hop on a plane and go to Mexico, sometime, like, we'll vacation,
Wait, isn't Galveston the place that Charles Barkley always makes fun of? Somebody help me on the chat. In the NBA, I thought he always talks shit on Galveston. Sorry, keep going. But when you said that, I'm like,
possible.
He's always talking shit. Go ahead.
We've been to a lot of places this year, but they've been super short trips. So we went and did like 3 days and took the kids to Orlando to Disney, but it was like I think 2 nights, 3 days. And then I went back to the UK just a few weeks ago just to watch the Euros football match. So we were literally there for like 46 hours.
Oh my gosh.
We went to Mexico for like 4 days. So it's like they're short, but if we have it, we go. And that's our time to really zone in on that family time and kind of
You have to make it though.
So,
I mean, that's the nice thing about this job. Yeah, our weekends are chewed up. But
the weekdays are lonely.
Yeah, exactly. And honestly, a lot of the parks here, like we have a amusement park called Valley Fair. There's not as many people there because they're, they got normal 9 to 5s, but as a DJ, you can take advantage of that, take the fam out there. All right, what are your thoughts on the whole Serato virtual DJ controversy? What are you? What team are you?
Okay. I use Serato,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm gonna probably upset everyone. My favorite was Record Box. I was
Okay.
I was a Record Box user for like 6 years until I got my Rev 7. And then at the time, I know it's not the same now, but at the time, um, the Rev 7 was only Serato. So I had to transfer everything, which was a nightmare. And I
Oh,
think
dude.
Serato is just the standard, but all your points, I feel like for virtual DJ are totally valid. Um, I just can't. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. It's just like,
You don't need it. There's no reason to. I'm crazy,
yeah,
bro. There's no reason for me to switch anyways, but that's me. That's what my rant was about. Like people are always like, why are you always buying stuff? And it's like, because I like it. I like changing it up. It keeps it fresh. Um, there's no, you don't have to. I'm telling you, bro, though, the features, I'm never going back, dude. For the things like being able to preview, scheduler, side list, um, just some of the things that it does. I don't
and
know.
even
I'm
like
like,
what you were saying about having doesn't it suggest what songs you've mixed with what's playing? Like there's
yeah,
like a history, right?
it'll do like a Genius DJ. It's like I don't
That's
usually pay
pretty
too
cool.
much attention to that, but it does like a hey, what it does is it looks at the BPM and vibe you're in and just gives you a suggestion at the bottom, which is kind of wild too.
That's pretty cool.
Uh,
It is impressive. It is.
it works with any controller. You know, it would have worked right away with the Rev 5 guy. That's all I'm saying. All right. Somebody gave me a little funny. They were talking shit about this, but I don't care. What's your cocktail? What's your favorite cocktail?
Oh, I'm a whiskey guy. In
Okay.
fact, right behind the camera, I've probably got 60, 70 bottles of bourbon. So I love whiskey. My go-to cocktail would just be a straight Jack and Coke. Just
Okay.
yeah,
What
yeah.
whiskey do you prefer in there? Like does it matter because it's got coke? Obviously, like a cocktail, you probably don't want to waste like a top shelf whiskey. Or if you drink whiskey, will you sip it? Do you put it on the rocks? What do you like to do with your whiskey?
Straight neat whiskey. But
Okay.
the only one I'll mix with Coke is just either Black Label Jack Daniels or Gentleman Jack. Just I like the flavor.
Yeah.
So yeah. But if I'm at a DJ conference, because being English, it's hard to stop once you start. I stick to beer mostly.
Okay.
If you see me drinking Jack and Cokes at a DJ conference, tell me to go to bed because that means I'm way too drunk.
You guys heard it here. If you see him walking around with a little glass and a straw, and he
It's
doesn't have a
bedtime.
point, if he's not rocking a point,
It's
it's
bedtime.
time to send Jack off to bed. All right. Um, let's see here. What else I want to ask you? Do you have you ever had like an awkward Zoom call with a couple? Like either like a or one where you're like, "Oh, we are not vibing. What's going on?"
I have. And actually, so I've had a couple. I've had a couple, especially like recently. I had one maybe in January when it was kind of booking season when everyone's reaching out, and I jumped on this phone call with a couple. My process is fill out a contact form. I'll send you a brochure. Then before we book, we've got to jump on a call. I want to look you in the eyes. I want to ask you some questions. I just want to make sure we're the right fit for each other, right?
Right. Yep.
So they fill it all out. They give me the venue address, the date, everything. I'm available, whatever. We jump on the call and they're like, yeah, so we haven't actually like booked anything yet, but we just really wanted to meet you. And I was like, well, I'm not. I'm like, I'm like, are you guys getting married? Like, are you engaged? Well, he says he's going to propose soon. And I'm like, okay, what would you like to do? Like, where do
Now.
we move? Where do we move forward from this conversation? And they had like zero plan on like how this conversation's going to flow. And I'm like, we are here to discuss your wedding that you are not planning. So what would you like? It
What do
was
you want?
like,
It was almost like an
so
interview. Like, where do you like to go on vacation, Jack? Like, you're breaking up. So my question then is, when they hit you up, what did their contact form say? Because like in my contact form, it's like date, venue, all that stuff.
All of
It
it
was just
was
blank
no,
or
all of it
fake.
was filled out. All of it was filled out. That was the venue that like they were looking at or considering, and I'm like, come on, guys.
Oh
Um,
man,
but it's fine. Like just explaining. Now's once you get deep into the planning, reach back out. We discuss things further. That's really the best process. And just being polite about it. I had a couple, and their wedding was legit, but they wanted like a 4 hour dance set with all country. And I politely told them, and it was their wedding was 6 or 7 hours from my location. And I was explaining to them in all honesty with what you would pay for the travel fee, for what you're telling me that you want, which was like full country songs back to back to back to back all night, no mixing. Just
jeez,
having the integrity to say, and I said to them, I said, you could book me and, you know, pay me. I said, but honestly, I don't think that I would be the right fit. I said, I would recommend, in that particular scenario, I'm like, if you're looking for a DJ with a little bit more of a higher presence, you could reach out to local radio DJs in your area that may be more willing to play back to back country songs, or even some just local mobile DJs that are more confident in that music. So I think it's important, as much as we all want to take as many bookings as we can, sitting down and talking to your couples to really make sure that you're the right fit. For me, a couple that's early, mid to late 20s, loves early 2000s, 2010s, even some 90s hip hop, is like right in my zone. That's where
yeah,
I like to be, which for the most part, those are the clients that I attract. So I know that if I jump on a phone call and we're talking about our favorite artists, our favorite genres, you pretty much know if you're a good vibe. So just taking the time to have that quick 30-minute phone call will make or break your events. And what I found by doing that, because you get the right client for your service, you have more successful events because you're no longer setting yourself up for failure. Does that make sense?
100%. Don't you feel like you've arrived at that place because you did the weddings that you probably shouldn't have, or you weren't the right vibe? And that's kind of I've been there. I've been in the room and going, I'm not the right DJ for these people. Whatever I'm doing, what I know, what I'm good at is not working here, and I don't know what's working. And then you play a song that was requested and it goes off, and in my head I go, I don't have any idea where to go next. I don't know what. And then you try, and now you're just grasping at straws, and sometimes you can blame the crowd. And that, I think that's a big part of it. But also, there's definitely been moments where I'm like, I wasn't the right guy for this. What you described, that early 2000s, 2010, even a mix of like some older stuff. That was my Friday crowd, bro. 2.5 straight hour set, packed dance floor all night, sweaty. I had fun. It went by so fast. I just went home like, oh my God, these are my people. And
And
it
that's
was
the
so fun.
best. That is the best fit. And that's where I feel like we've made the mistakes so that other people don't have to do that. Any advice to like new DJs would be, just make sure you vet your client. Know what your strengths are and where you feel like you're strongest in a genre standpoint and in a era standpoint, and attract those clients. Don't just take a wedding because you feel like, oh, I can get paid for that gig. If it's not the right event for you, trust me, you're better off not doing that event, because you also don't know if your ideal client is going to inquire in the next day for that same event, and now you're stuck doing a couple's wedding that's just not the right fit for you, and you could have been getting paid more or the same and playing for the right crowd.
Right. Even if doing multicultural stuff too. I'll get on a Zoom call and I see either like a mixed couple or whatever, or non-white couple like me, and I immediately go, okay, what are you guys into? And I just want to make sure, like, if they start talking about artists I've never heard of before, or like, yeah, like the first half we're gonna have like all Hindu-y kind of, Hindi music. I'm like, I'll just be straight up and be like, hey, it's up to you guys, but I'm just being honest. I've never done anything like that. I'm not dialed into any of that. If you want to send me some stuff and put it in their court, but that honesty and that sort of like, I don't want to just book just to book. Because you made such a great point there, Jack. Like, there could be another guy here killing it for you, and I could be somewhere else killing it for them. But here I am in your room. I'm killing it. I'm not killing it in a good way. And you're mad at me, and there's some other bozo DJ at the wedding I should be at right now. So it's okay to vet and to say no and to be like, in a good way. Like, I just don't think I'm good for this. Right?
Yeah. And I think it's one of those it's not you, it's me kind of moments.
Right,
But
right.
you
It's a
can
breakup.
literally just be honest. I feel like DJs put themselves in the wrong events all the time and then get upset when things don't work. I know I definitely have. And just taking the time to get to know your clients and making sure that you're the right fit for them,
Yeah.
your events are going to be more successful. You're going to look better. It's everything. So
All right. 2 more questions. Columns or point source?
okay, I heard you talking about this with Cleveland, and what a point source. Talk to me. I probably should have Googled that.
No, it's just the box on a speaker box, like a regular 12-inch or 15-inch speaker, and then on a sub, like a 15
That's
or
what
18-inch sub or something.
that's what I use. That's what I use. I love the idea of the column arrays. I'm just always worried they're not going to have enough punch for a wedding. I'm always worried about getting the, turn it up a bit motion or,
Mm-hmm.
can't hear you. And yeah, I'm a point source and I'm a overkill points. My system, so I run two 15 the EV ETX, which are the wooden cabinets, the top ones, with two 18-inch ETX subs. And
Damn.
I take those out mostly because I use the subs as my stand. But I'll take them out if I'm doing a wedding for 60 people or 300 people,
You
because
just want the
really,
headroom.
as far as taking trips back and forth to the trailer, it's no different to me. It's just they're on wheels, I roll.
Yeah.
But I just EQ it to the room anyway. So even if I'm hardly blasting them, it's always nice to know I've got that extra bit. So
Yeah.
that's yeah,
With the
definitely
18s, are you finding, because I was so irritated this weekend. I brought the Maui 44s to it was a 150 people wedding, and I had them on, and two old people came up and were like, "What are you gonna do about this bass, bro?" And like, "Where are you at? Are you on the dance floor?" No. Like, get the fuck out of here. I don't care. Go outside. You know what I mean? Like, what are you doing? But again, I don't like that. I don't want to leave a guest upset because I know I've had it done. They've come at me at Google,
yeah.
and I can see like, oh, it was too loud. Like, I just don't, and then the tattletale. Just go home. Just go home, all right? It wasn't for you. Why did you go on Google and tell the world that my speaker was too loud? What are you getting out of this? What justification? So you said you tune the room. Sometimes that's difficult though, right? When you show up, they're taking photos in there, or there's already guests in there, and you're trying to like. I always be like, I'm doing a sound check, guys. It's gonna sound loud. This is how it's gonna be. And they got, they're like, that's not how it's gonna be, is it? Like, what I just
So
fucking say. So what do you do?
here's how I get everything set for a room. I've been doing this for a couple years now, and I
All
feel
right.
like it works really, really well. So if you have people in the room, half the time it's usually like the florist, maybe the cake lady, maybe the groomsman might be taking some photos, what have you. I always go up to the planner. Once I got everything set before I tape anything down, I go up to the planner, and I've already seen the timeline. I know when first looks are happening, whatever, but I look the planner in the eye and I say, is now a good time to do a sound check? Would I be interrupting anything? That way,
Mm,
if there's the first look with the bride and the dad outside, you're not blasting, Yeah by Usher in the background and it's
right.
ruining that moment. The planner says, yes, you're good. My next step, grab a mic. I get on and I say, just let everyone in the room know we are going to do a quick sound check. It's going to get really loud in here for a few minutes. If anyone does have sensitive ears, Now is the time to leave the room. Then I repeat it again more. I use that announcement to almost balance my mics. That way, everyone knows this is the sound check. And there's a reason why I do this. And then I do blast the place out. And I actually mix my sound check. I get on and my assistant balances the sound for me. He goes out in the center of the dance floor. I mix I usually mix 3 or 4 pop/hip hop songs and then 2 or 3 EDM bass heavy songs. Okay. And
Yeah.
he'll balance the subs and the tops to that space. Once he tells me it's good, I come out, I listen, we're good to rock and roll. Okay.
Yeah.
Mostly because I want to know how it sounds on the dance floor. And even if people are like, is it going to be that loud? You have to explain you're doing a sound check in an empty room versus when you fit 200 people in here, they're soaking up everything that's bouncing all over the room. And I just always like to explain it's not going to sound that loud, but I always like to know how loud can we go just to
That's
be
great,
sure.
Drew. You're
And
letting
do
them
you
know
know
ahead of
why?
time. Go ahead. Sorry.
Do you know why I do that? I had this awful experience. I still feel bad about this to this day. And again, I did this process. Okay, this was really frustrating because I actually spoke to the planner. I made the announcement. Everyone in the room looked at me, gave me a thumbs up, whatever, and I start blasting music. Okay, all of a sudden I hear a scream, like a horror movie. The 2 of the older guys in the room come running up to me, turn it off, turn it off, turn it off. And I'm like, what's happening? I turn it off. Well, the daughter of the bride, who was 7 or 8 years old at the time, was wearing hearing aids,
Oh
and no
no.
one had thought to tell, no one had thought about the daughter, right?
Yeah.
And this daughter screams, runs out the room, and is in absolute tears. And I can only imagine if you've got those hearing aids turned up, and then all of a sudden you get hit with 2 15-inch tops. I felt terrible, and I had to I apologized, and I
Yeah.
went over and made sure the little girl was okay. But I literally thought to like everyone, you heard me make the announcement. I checked with the planner. This could have been
Yeah.
totally avoided. But anyway,
That wasn't your
that's why.
fault. That
But
wasn't
you
your fault.
always, if you can make
Yeah.
an announcement and at least protect yourself, you just kind of cover your own butt, you know.
And you're trying to, and even like I've learned too. Before I make an announcement on a microphone, it's so funny with the one advantage of the columns is because I, it's an advantage and disadvantage. People will stand literally right next to them, like right in front of them. And I'm like, how are you not? Because that's the way they're built, you know, to be able to distribute the sound all right. So
Yeah.
before I get on the microphone, I'll look out and I'll see like 3 old people like standing literally right by the speaker, and I'll walk up, hey guys, I'm about to make an announcement. I didn't want to scare you to death, and because you're standing right next to the speaker. And then they go, oh my gosh, thank you so much. And then they walk off because there were times where I'm like, mic on, what's up, everybody? And oh Jesus Christ.
And why? What can we just ask something? Why is it always the grandparents or newborn babies that are sat nearest to the speakers?
So
Here's a good tip for
yeah,
some DJs out there. Always be aware right before, because if you've got everyone seated right before entrances and you've got music at dinner level, take a look around. Look at your space. Who's sat who's in the room? Really, it doesn't matter who's nearest to the speakers. Who's in the room? If you see like one of my go-tos, and I've had compliments on this. If you see newborn babies there, just go up to the parents and say,
hmm
"Hey guys, just a heads up. When you hear me come out and start making announcements for entrances, just know it's going to get really loud for a few minutes. They're going to come on in, everyone's going to cheer, they're going to clap, the lights may flash depending on setup. Then they'll go straight into their first dance. As soon as their first dance is over, we're going to go into dinner. So you guys are good, settle down. I just wanted to give you a heads up. And I cannot tell you the amount of times people have been like, wow, thank
hmm
you. That, just to give a heads up.
yeah.
So I was just having some awareness of who's in the room and who's around you, especially when you're about to really crank it. doesn't
goes a
hurt.
long way. You've earned like it's almost like you start getting those compliments that the couple is coming up to you and probably telling you, which has happened. Like, I want you to know, like everybody loves you. That I'm getting so many compliments on you, and you know what? You haven't played one song on the dance floor yet. It's because it's a lot of those things that you got to be mindful of. I had a situation on Saturday where I had a really long room, so I needed to put my remote speaker on the other end. But there was really no place to put it. Otherwise, this corner that had a table. And of course, as people are sitting down, I got two old people there. So cocktail music is playing, a jazz vibe, which, you know, whatever you say about that, whatever, Nick, it's fine. It works here. Somebody come up to me, he's like, hey, is there any way you could turn it down? My mom is, turn it down. It's jazz and it was hardly anything. I'm like, so I walked up to them. I said, hey guys, just giving you a heads up. You are stationed close to this microphone. Now, the speaker, the reason why I have this here is basically for my mic to make announcements and for the grand entrance. So it will get a little bit louder. Just giving you a heads up. So just when that happens, and then one of the ladies goes, well, just don't do that. And then I go, okay, well, so that's not an option. What is an option is that when I start to do that, if you guys want to stand up and just walk into another spot or get behind it, that's fine. You're in the back of the room. And I could see her face was looking at me like, this fucking guy. I'm like, what do you want me to do, lady? You want me to make it all about you, right? And so, like, in that case, I just walked away. I didn't give a shit.
So,
you know?
if you have control over buffet lines, for example, on how you release tables, obviously release wedding party and immediate family first. After that, I'll go up to the tables that are closest to the speakers and be like, hey, I'll release you guys first. I don't care if you're table 19 and 33. I'll release you guys first if you don't complain about this speaker all night long. And usually they'll be like, okay, deal. You got it, man. So just by like going
great.
and just like breaking the ice and being like, I acknowledge that you're here. I've got to this sound's got to get to the back of the room, but you're actually going to eat before everyone else in this room. You guys cool with that? And they're like, yeah, cool.
Bro,
And
that's
that you
great.
just and it just breaks that ice between DJ and guest that I feel like can sometimes be there. So
And you've humanized yourself. You've let them know I'm aware of this situation. I'm gonna make you aware of the job I'm trying to do, and as a result, I'm gonna hook you up because I know, it's rough to be back here with me, but you know what? I got you, right? And then you have fun with them. They'll be playful, and then they're not caught off guard too. Like this fucking guy. Good stuff, bro. Good stuff.
Exactly.
Hey, hit that like button if you had a good time hanging out with, there's Cleveland Terry's head. I got to change that for next week. But if you had a good time with Jack here today, Jack, what are your socials? Let people know so they can give you a follow. I want to grow you here. Add some to your numbers. TikTok and Instagram. What do you got?
You can find me on both platforms, TikTok and Instagram, at Jack Kristian DJ, Kristian with a K, JACK, KRISTIAN DJ.
There it is. Thanks to everybody for being here. Jack, thanks, bro. I wish I could. Maybe I'll see you at Boston. I'm not going to DJX, but for sure I hope to see you there. And if you are at DJX, go say hi to him and hang out. One more time, make some noise.
Thanks for having me, man.
Thanks, bro. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for being here today. What did we learn? Let's recap. Umbrellas blow away with the wind. I don't think I learned anything else. No, great tips from Jack. Go follow him on Insta, on all his socials. Super fun, cool dude. He's making our job better out there, mixing well. Thanks for being on the show, everybody. See you next time.